Hey, good morning, everybody, and thanks for checking out the channel. I am looking to purchase a Comet KP2900 megahertz antenna, or something much like that. And I find one this morning on DX Engineering for $227. So before I just impulsively purchase it, I decide I'm going to go ahead and shop around, which I think everybody should do. And to my surprise, I find one at Ham Radio Outlet for $199.95. And as I'm going to take a look at this a little bit further, I notice up here the security notice, and I thought to myself, weird. I haven't heard anybody else talk about this. And I remember when the ARRL was potentially compromised, it was a very big deal. Regardless, I like to make people aware of these things, and I have made people aware of these things in the past. So I don't have any ill intentions. In fact, I'm making you aware of this so you can kind of be cognitive of your credit cards and your transactions. So let's go ahead and read this together just real quick. And so this says, to our valued customer, Ham Radio Outlet is aware of reports of unauthorized activity involving customer credit cards. We have begun a thorough investigation and engaged cybersecurity specialists to review our systems. We also have implemented additional security measures out of an abundance of caution while our investigation continues. We are actively and meticulously monitoring all transactions. Protecting our customers' information is a responsibility we do not take lightly. As part of our security practices, Ham Radio Outlet does not retain complete credit card numbers, CVV codes, or expiration dates on our systems. All card payments are processed through our PCI DSS compliant payment processor, and our systems have maintained PCI DSS compliance for years with regular audits. Sincerely, Ham Radio Outlet. So as of August 8th, and by the way, I have brought videos like this to the light in the past. For example, I spoke about TID Radio sending plain text passwords back to their servers. I've spoke about scams with the Yaesu FT891 at unbelievable prices. So I do this so that you're made aware of it, you could be cognitive of it, and at least keep an eye on your credit card statements. In my eyes right now, it's not necessary to cancel a credit card because of this notice, but maybe you see some kind of weird, unfamiliar charge, and sometimes they even start out small, like 25 cents or 20 cents or even a penny. They're just testing to see if your credit card is valid, and then maybe you might start to see larger transactions. So keep an eye on those things. Now, as I'm recording this video, I start to do more research. I'm not the first person to bring this to the public, it looks like, but I didn't see this post, and it looks like Ham Radio Outlet, Sam's Club, and some people say fraudulent activity going on with accounts and credit cards used at HRO and making fake Sam Club's purchases. And another person confirms, yeah, Sam's Club less than a week later. So these, I'll link this below, by the way, and these are the things that you should start looking out for. Before I get going, I was reading through some of these comments while I was editing, and it appears that a lot of people are kind of talking about the same thing. First, it's like a $25 membership charge, and then what'll happen in other places will be like a $400 or $500 charge. Mainly at Sam's Club, a few people are reporting that Academy Sports is another one they try. And I think overall, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. A, monitor your credit card, regardless if you don't see Academy or Sam's Club. Keep an eye on it because you never know how long these might take to be utilized. And the second thing that I would suggest, that was a really good suggestion here, was from Zach. And somewhere in these posts, Zach mentions, hey, privacy.com will issue you a temporary credit card that you could use at the vendor for up to X amount of dollars. And that way, even if it gets compromised, it can't be utilized more than that X amount of dollars. And this was the post from Zach where he says that about privacy.com. But also, Old Geek Weirdo says, some credit card companies allow you to create single-use cards, and it's a good way to avoid this. I want to let you know that I don't have any affiliation with Ham Radio Outlet. I'm just trying to get this information out there because I wasn't aware of it for 10 days, so maybe other people aren't aware of it as well. Now, if you do find yourself a victim to credit card theft or identity theft, which this is just my personal opinion and nothing else, at that point, I recommend taking the information you have and going to file a police report with your local police agency, and then filing a credit card theft or fraud report with your credit card companies and maybe even your bank, depending on where you were a victim with or who you were a victim with. Finally, I would probably recommend doing some kind of credit score locking with the three major credit score companies like Experian and so forth. Again, those are just my personal opinions, but most importantly, I hope this video at least made you more aware of the situation and maybe it helped you out. I hope you have a good one. Take care.